Tom Aspinall is the guy to beat Jon Jones. I'm going to tell you why in this video, so strap yourself in. Get ready for liftoff. Let's go. Tom Aspinall is a bulldozer. He's got 5 first-round finishes in the UFC with the shortest average fight time. He's an absolute bulldozer, mate. He runs through people. He ran through Sergey Pavlovich to get the interim belt, and then he defended it by running through Curtis Blades. Defend his interim belt. Insane. Now, this is even better when you compare the fact that Jon Jones has his worst round in the first. At every single one of these fights, yeah, first one against Santos, worst round at the first. All 3 judges agree, and then probably the second round as well. I had it 3-1 Santos, with Santos winning the first, second, and the 5th down here. Now, that fight, the score was all over the place, but then if you look in this one, in the Reyes fight, all 3 judges think that Jones lost the first round against Reyes, with another judge thinking that he lost the second round, and the one thing he loses the third. So once again, scoring a little bit all over the place, but still pretty close rounds. First round domination by Reyes. Next up, we're going to move into the Gustafsson fight, where he lost the first round pretty clearly. Now, that added with the fact that Tom Aspinall was a bulldozer in the first round, and it's the shortest average fight time. So, never been to the second round once, right? If Jon Jones comes out the same way he did against these 3 fighters, and against Smith had a good first round against him as well. Let's people forget, man. Like Smith, you know, we all think of the legal knee because that was pretty stupid from Jones. But Smith had a pretty good first round against him. We didn't win the first round. We still had a pretty good first round. So if you mix that with the fact that Tom Aspinall is an absolute bulldozer, if Jones comes out the same way he did against these 4 fighters, here, these 4 guys, he's going to get blitzed and knocked out in the first round. Now, these aren't just any old fighters either. If you look at the names on this list of these 4, you would recognize them for these 4 here. Now, obviously, I do realize that the Gustafsson was a rematch from the first one, which, you know, we can get into that a little bit, but like the fact that all 4 of these names are all on this list says a lot, right? He said that at the press conference. For the Anthony Smith fight, he lost the first round. The Thiago Santos fight, he didn't lose the first round against Anthony Smith, but Anthony Smith did very good in the first round. Santos did very good in the first round, and Reyes did very good in the first round. Now, obviously, we're going to ignore that anomaly that is Cyril Gane, because we'll get into that a little bit later, because, you know, he's always sort of all these bold frauds, but we'll move. So next up, he lacks finishing ability. So another reason why Tom's absolutely smoking. So he only has 3 finishes in his last 10 fights. Obviously, there's 1 against Gane. He's got 1 all the way down here against Gustafsson, which is the rematch, and he's got 1 all the way down from there. If you ignore the Daniel Cormier no contest because he tested positive for steroids, his next one was in 2013, which is what? 5 years of consistently fighting without a finish against Chael Sonnen, who was a guy moving up from middleweight. We'll get to the Gane one. Gane cannot grapple. This is my problem with using the Gane as a decent, you know. I mean, you don't round Gane, fair enough, exploit the fact he has a weakness. Tom Aspinall is a grappler at base, and he has a black belt on BJJ, and he has multiple submission wins in the UFC. One of which being against Volkov, where he straight arm locked the guy, right? Jones isn't going to be able to do what he did against Gane to Aspinall. But then he fought Gustafsson, right? He managed to take him out via ground and pound, which, fair enough, there's not really much I can say on this other than the fact that they wouldn't schedule the fight in Nevada. Right, well, he already tested positive for Turinabol. We're not going to sanction this fight because they didn't what they considered a drug team, right? Because they thought, right, he's already tested positive for Turinabol. He's tested for trace amounts now. We're not going to sanction it. And basically what the UFC did is they said, and USADA as well, is they went and said, right, well, it might be able to pulse within fat cells because Clomid can pulse within fat cells, and they completely disregarded the fact that Jon Jones has already tested positive and has already taken Clomid before, which, you know, we'll just ignore that for a second. But using a different drug to prove why a separate drug can pulse in someone's system makes no sense at all. But we'll move on from that. That's the only asterisk I would have over that performance because he pretty much did test positive, because not really, you know. So finally move on to the Chael Sonnen performance, where Chael Sonnen was moving up from middleweight. Chael Sonnen was a middleweight moving up to light heavyweight to fight Jon Jones. or this is not like abnormal with Jon Jones's record. A lot of the fighters he's faced are middleweights, moving up to like heavy or middleweight sized guys. Like Rampage Jackson's 5'11", and I know Machida is like 6 foot. Shogun is 6'1", maybe at most. In the current light heavyweight division, the average is about 6'3", 6'4". Jones only ever fought two people who are his size, or three people that are his size, or bigger. Reyes, Gustafsson, and I cannot say Gustafsson, jeez, and Garn, right? Everyone else are being middleweight sized guys. So my next point is a very important one. That is Tom is bigger than Jones. I know I said I wouldn't use this, but he is bigger than Jones. Now ignore the little thing I've got down here. I've tried my best to design it, but like it says his weight is 204. It's about 204. It says Aspinall's 29. You know, let's just ignore that for a second. But we also do have a little confused Jon Jones up here because Tom is bigger than Jon. That's my next point. So anyone, and that leads on to the same point I was talking about. You know, fighting smaller guys. He's always had the height advantage, pretty much in every fight. And his only 3 fights are these guys where he hasn't had the advantage. And when he fights against these people, they obviously excluding Garn because Garn can't grapple. When he hasn't had the advantage, he has been demolished within the first couple rounds of these guys and arguably lost to both of them. About 38% of the fans, if you can look it up on UFC decisions, they ask the fans on who they think wins. 38% of the fans think that Gustafsson win. Gustafsson, I can't say it. You know, this guy here won, and about 80% of the fans think Reyes won, with 90% of them taking the first round off Jones, 87% taking the second round off Jones, and about 83% giving the third round to Reyes, or taking the third round off Jones. I don't know why I swapped it up. But you get what I mean. He struggles against guys who are the same height of him, obviously excluding Garn because he's a complete failure of a fight. Jon Jones is not on the height advantage over Tom Aspinall, because Tom is bigger than Jon, right? I hate to bring it up again, but he is. So what does this all mean, right? Well, if I had to make a fight prediction based on what we've seen from these two in the UFC, I would choose Tom Aspinall by first round decimation. He's going to destroy the Doc, but obviously Jon Jones, being the Doc he is, will not fight Tom. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye.